Hey gang, Joshua Bacarella here with your Lake St. Clair Fishing and Ice Report, brought to you by Sportsmen's Direct. So we're nearing the end of February, getting ready to go into March Madness, and lo and behold, we have a crazy weather system basically moving in again here for the weekend. Right now we're out there about 40 degrees, and we're supposed to have wind. It's supposed to blow south, and it's going to blow west, and it's going to blow north again, and then it's going to get cold again next week. So who the heck knows what's going to happen with our ice going into next week. But for right now, the ice conditions are still pretty good. The guys are still running machines out here. We still have snow on the ice, but the snow levels are definitely going down with all this sunshine and the light rain we had yesterday and so forth. So middle of the lake is now open. So there is open water in the middle of the lake. Those last big blows that we had moved a lot of that ice out in the middle and jammed it up over on the Canadian side. And I saw pictures on the internet over there of St. Luke's of just giant mammoth ice piles. And I guess the guys are having a tough time getting out over there, and there's open water over there as well. So, you know, the Fat Lady is definitely warming up, and the season is coming to a close. Now, with that, these fish are moving in tight. Now, this week we had several reports. If you remember my report last week, I was telling you guys to fish tight. Some of you guys listened, some of you guys kind of fished tight, and some of you guys went back out. Guys that were fishing in literally almost on the seawall, almost touching seawalls in a lot of areas on the lake, both north, middle, and southern part down on the mile roads, caught fish. And they got some really nice fish in crazy tight. Now remember, our water levels are at all-time highs. This summer, we're probably going to go past the water levels of the 80s. With that means there really is no super shallow water. You're going to have a hard time finding water out there shallower than 4 feet unless you're like up on the beach or something at Metro. So you almost can't fish too close. In by these seawalls, in by the rock jetties and so forth, these perch and other panfish are going to be coming in to feed. So you really can't fish too close, and that's probably great news for us as we start losing the ice here going into March. So another thing to keep in mind, this time of the year that sun angle changes. So even though it may be cold out there and below freezing, we are going to continue to lose ice. And one of the ways you'll see it losing ice is like on your south-facing seawalls. You guys are going to start to see that ice erode and pull back away from the seawall, from that sun angle. Your north-facing seawalls are going to retain the ice much longer than those south seawalls. So as we go later into the year, you're going to find that you can get on the ice, especially in the canals, off of those north-facing seawalls much easier and safer than you can off of those south-facing seawalls. We used to see that over well, still see it over there at Simcoe as well. I fish off of Sybil's Point over there, and same thing goes over there, even off of those natural shorelines or those rocky shorelines or tree-lined shorelines. That north-facing side is going to get protected from the sun much later into the season, and the ice will retain right up against the shore much better over there on those sides. Now, they are catching panfish still in the canals. We've seen a lot of fish come in this week, especially some beautiful bluegills, 9.5 and 10 inchers. Unfortunately, not big enough for the big fish contest, not enough to take first place, but we saw several fish this week right in that 0.9 range, so just under a pound. Lots of perch coming in still, but nothing to beat those 1.25 pounds that we had earlier in the season. Now, going into March, you're going to start to see bigger and bigger fish. Guys are definitely seeing them that are fishing in shallow, that are sight fishing. They're just pretty hard to get them to bite right now. So that's going to pick up. I would expect this weekend with this warm front by Saturday, we're going to have like 4 days getting warmer and warmer and warmer. By Saturday, you're going to have a bite going somewhere. So if you're not catching fish, move, because there is going to be a bite. Those fish are going to be aggressive, and they are going to be feeding. Again, like I said before, I would try to stay shallow unless I know there's activity going on out there deeper. Walleye bite's been going as well too, but definitely not like we had last year. 5 to 7 feet of water from the guys that I've been hearing from most off of Metro and down there by Geno's, and guys down by the mile roads too. Now, I did have a report from one of our buddies down in the mile roads that ran out and did some checking on the ice with his machine, and he was reporting that the ice down there, like down by Memorial and those areas, is starting to honeycomb from the bottom up. So you got to be really careful if you're going to run machines down in those areas. Also, with the winds this week, really pay attention to what the wind directions are. With that open water out in the middle of the lake, it's only a matter of time that this ice is going to start breaking off and floating out, and we don't want to lose any of you guys out there chasing fish. So north end of the lake up by Fairhaven, still getting some catches of perch up there and gills. Guys, some of the guys are getting into crappies again in the canal, so that definitely is worth a look. And again, as we get later and later and into March, these fish are just going to keep coming in tighter and tighter the more lake ice we lose, so it's just going to keep getting better. So I'm hoping we have another couple of weeks of good fishing. We just stocked up in here. We got our hands on some more augers and jet sleds and so forth. This weekend, you're going to have the Cold as Ice event here at Metro. So for you guys that don't like a crowd, yeah, you may want to go up to that north end of the lake to try to steer clear of it, or go maybe fish some canals or something, chase some panfish. It sounds like the Lake St. Clair Walleye Association's kids event on Sunday has been canceled, and I believe they did that because of the forecasted winds and the rain that we're supposed to get on Sunday, but we'll see. But the winds would have made for a really miserable outing for the kids, so I know they pulled back on that. So anyways, that's it for this week. You know, nothing hot and heavy going on out there. Some guys are catching, some guys aren't. Fish tight, pay attention to that wind direction. We don't want to lose anybody out there. And hopefully, if we make it through this weekend, we're going to have some March ice with that next cold front coming in next week. We got some pretty darn cold temperatures forecasted again. So here, you know, we're gonna pray that we hang on to that lake ice, at least hold the shorelines for us. North end of the lake should hold, but a little bit worried about down here by Metro. So you guys take care, and we'll see you at the store.